G'day and welcome to Aussievsiion. We're here today to talk about semi-final one that's just happened here this morning. I'm joined by the lovely Fleur and Emma from the Aussievsiion team. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah. Good one.
Yes. Right. So obviously, let's just go straight into the news for Australians and Australian fans. Australia did not qualify for the grand final. It's only the second time it's happened, and the first time it's happened when we've actually performed live in the stadium. Um, Emma, what were your thoughts on it? Was it a surprise to you, or were you shocked that we didn't get through?
No, no, I'm not shocked. I think it was always a 50-50 Australia. So before the voting ended, they were actually 10th with the bookies, and it looked like we might scrape in, but it was always going to be down to Australia and a couple of other countries for that 10th spot. And I think we all knew this going in, so I was prepared either way. And unfortunately, it didn't go our way on the night, but I think they did a wonderful job, and they could be very proud of their performance.
True, true. Fleur, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I wasn't overly surprised, especially with that running order. Okay, we stood out after Azerbaijan, but with Portugal following us, I thought, yeah, going to be a bit dicey here. But no, not surprised. Like as Emma said, I thought it was also 50-50.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do
and it was
think.
just such a strong quality this year too. I think perhaps in another year it may have gone our way, but this year is one of the strongest years I can remember for a long time. So we were going to have to pull out something extra special, I think, to qualify.
Yeah, I think there was that part where I think the running orders really was a really good spot in one way because it came up, we kind of popped, we had color and it looked fantastic. I think I remember seeing when we first had those rehearsals come through, and then Portugal is such a clean performance.
Yeah,
Everything about it is almost the antithesis in a way of Australia because we're a bit more vibrant, a bit out there and doing a few things, but we almost could have looked a bit messy in comparison to Portugal that followed straight after. And I do say I thought the first half of our live performance is stunning. I thought they nailed everything. It sounded good. It looked good. The shots were great. And I just think maybe the wheels started to come off in that second
in the
half of
middle.
in them. Yeah. And I think also for Zachariah, who's brilliant, probably not Zachariah's strongest night, I would say, from the rehearsals we've seen, the jury shows. And that sometimes happens with a big week like Eurovision and a big build up. And there's not much you can do about that. Sometimes that happens to some of the artists, and so be it, I guess.
Yeah, I would actually add into that. I thought perhaps the second half of the performance was more to the arena crowd than the TV cameras. I think that may be where it fell down a little bit. But the first half definitely very strong.
Yeah, yeah, I do
Yeah,
think in the stadium people probably thought it was a qualifier, but there's a big difference down that TV. And as soon as things get messy, it gets picked up very easily at home. It'll be super
yeah.
interesting to see the voting,
Hmm.
and whether or not that's kind of caused anything there. Any final thoughts from you, Fleur, about Australia not getting through?
No, I agreed with you because I had in my notes it was fine and then it got messy. It's exactly what I had written down.
Yeah. And look, I think the main thing is, as you said at the start, Emma, as well, we can be proud to send something that represents Australian culture, Indigenous culture. And sometimes maybe we've got to be one of those countries that send something like that and have to be willing to the fact that maybe we won't get through, a bit like a Portugal does all the time, in Italy and a lot of these countries. And sometimes we're not going to make it. It doesn't mean that Europe hates us, and it doesn't mean that we won't be back. It's part of the circle of life of Eurovision. Countries NQ and then they come back big. And that's
See?
what I'm sure we'll do.
That's right. And this year's just our turn. So it is
Exactly.
what it is.
We
Just
have
wasn't
we
our
have
turn
to
Yeah.
this year, that's
we
all.
have to live through it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of the ones that were kind of, I guess, maybe the surprising, the cusp ones that kind of jumped out there. Now, I'm going to start with another Aussie, Cyprus, because it was starting to look a little like borderline there for a little bit, but Cyprus got through. Celia Capsis, the Australian. What do you think of her performance, Flo? And do you think she deserved to get through?
I actually had Cyprus as a on the cusp.
Yeah.
I'll be honest here, the list the 10 that qualified, I thought was either Cyprus or Luxembourg who were qualified. I didn't expect both. So yeah, she got through. I thought it was a good opener. I thought it was probably the right song to open. The staging, yeah, a lot of turquoise. It being first, and then you see some of the others to me didn't stand out. So I thought that might actually hurt her as well, being first. So I actually thought Luxembourg would get in over her.
Yeah, a lot
Uh,
got through at the start. I mean, and to show open and show close, it doesn't always happen. So well done, Cyprus. Emma, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think she did an amazing job. When you look at the way that the running order was drawn from what the countries drew, Cyprus was really the only country that you could have that drew the first half that you really could have put in the opening position, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was a great show opener. And one of the things I've loved about Celia is that she's only 17. She's the youngest competitor in the competition, but she's really very engaging, really worked all the media interviews that she's done. You can see her Nickelodeon presenter work has really paid off. Yeah, you can really see that she's just a natural in front of the camera. And I think that's really helped. She's really done as much as she can to put herself in the song out there, and I'm really pleased that she got through. I always thought she was going through. I actually did send some votes her way, and yeah, I'm really pleased that she got through.
Yeah, I think there'd be a few Australians. I think I did 10 votes, 6 of them went to Celia because I wanted to see that Aussie through.
Yeah.
And look, I agree. She connects with that camera. She's really professional, one of the most professional, and she's 17. So, like, oh my God, what I was doing at 17 compared to her. Well done to Celia making it through. And look, I think she's done well. She's going to drag that through because the song is good without being amazing, and the staging is really good without being amazing. And I think her performance got them over the line there for sure. So, well done. We have an Australian in the grand final, and so she's getting behind Australia there. All right, let's go into a couple of the Balkan countries here that got through and that were probably on the cusp. Probably the surprise, I would say, is Slovenia to get through. Fleur, what were your thoughts? Were you surprised that Slovenia qualified?
I'm probably the only person who wasn't surprised with the 3 Balkan countries making it. They were all going to share votes between each other, so not shocked at all. Plus, you had Poland in the same semi. So like I said, I'm probably the only person who was not surprised.
What did you think about their performance?
Yeah, not my favorite performance. I will admit to that. But yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Emma, Emma, do you want to shed some light?
Well, Fleur makes a very valid point about perhaps they got good luck in the other countries that were also in this final that could vote for them. I wasn't expecting her to get through. I was a little surprised, and I think she was the first one called out from memory. Or no, she wasn't. Serbia was, but she was. Yeah, that's right. So I think when I saw her and Serbia get called out, sort of thought, okay, well, maybe we're done for. I think she did a great job. I do wonder. Obviously the song is about, a famous witch in Slovenia, which Joel did mention in the Australian commentary. It was obviously on the commentator's run sheet. I don't know how much of that would have got across to the first-time viewer, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because she got through. Yeah, I must admit, I did need to go to the bathroom at that time of the show, and that's when I chose to go during Slovenia.
There was a couple.
But yeah, look, she did a good job, but I was surprised that she did get through.
Yeah, I'm going to be very interested in the votes for sure to see the breakdown there, because when I think with only for every country, you had 14 because you don't vote for yourself, so only 4 countries were going to miss out on points. So I think a lot of people around the cusp are going to get a lot of the lower points throughout everything, and having a couple of friendly neighbors close by could have been certainly the thing that got her over the line. But I guess we won't know for sure until we get the points. But I suspect, Fleur, you might be right there, that those would have helped.
It was very reminiscent of the film clip, I thought, too.
The what, sorry?
It was very reminiscent of the film clip.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
I think I expected just a little bit more drama with it. I thought it was very tight, and she performed it really well, but it was a very, very stark staging. So that was probably, I thought it'd fallen down. And when you have things like Bambi Thug just smashing it out of the park, then I thought maybe there was a bit of trouble there for them, but they did really well. Just quickly touching on some of the big players here. Croatia, Ukraine, and Ireland seem to be the ones that have been getting a lot of fan reaction, a little bit of Lithuania as well. Did anyone particularly of those lot stand out as the kind of potential winner or something could do very well? Emma, any thoughts?
Well, Croatia is currently the favourite, and I think that probably stood out to me. You could really see watching at home how much the audience in the arena was engaged. They were, yelling out every word. It came across really well on camera, the use of the colours and the backdrop, really elevated from the national final. I would say still looking like the best chance from semi-final 1 to be our winner. Up there with Ukraine. I think Ukraine also blew me away. I loved how they, really was almost 2 performances in one, how they, Alona and Jerry almost did their bit separately and came together at the end of the song, and just really beautiful package. I found that really impactful. So I think either of those two would have won that semi-final, I think.
Fleur, any thoughts on those big hitters?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Croatia. I did watch the performance at Douro. This was a lot more tidier, a lot more slicker, toned down a bit, and extra bits added where it needed to be added. I thought his costume was by far an improvement, because it doesn't compare so much to someone who will remain nameless, who's been compared to pretty much all year. I think Croatia I think that might have been number one. I think it's Croatia's probably the most likely one to win from this semi. Ireland was my favourite performance of the night. I just think the song is too Vegemite for it to be a surefire winner.
Yeah, I have to say, look, I'm a big, totally won over by the performance. I've not been a fan of the studio song, but Bambi just brings it. It is just a brilliant performance, and well done, Ireland, for really just throwing everything at this. It's fantastic, and it's so good to see the Irish fans happy. Like, we're the kind of sad ones for a change. Normally, it's the other way around. So, you know, these things have got to go around in a circle. So, well done to them. They did fantastic, and I have to agree. Like, out of those, Croatia's the one, and singing in a lineup of songs and the performance and the crowd reaction, even when they're doing that, and you can see the lights in the background of everyone doing that in the crowd, was wonderful. So I the first time in the last couple of days I've really seen it as a real winner from it, and I thought Ukraine's very good, but I'm not sure it's going to get that kind of. It's going to do very well, but I'm not sure about that kind of winner vibes at the moment. Any of the rest, because there's Finland, there's Portugal, there's loads we could talk about. Luxembourg. Is there anyone that you want to do a special call out to out of the remaining ones, Fleur?
My second favorite performance of the night was Portugal.
I knew you were going to say Portugal.
I'm so predictable, aren't I?
Yeah.
And look, I called it from Festival de Canção. This goes through. It's going to do really well at Eurovision. Yolanda didn't have to do too much different to what she did at Festival de Canção. I thought was always going to shine, and it did. It was so simple, so minimal, so artistic. Ticked all the boxes for me, and that's what countries with a low budget need to do. Just do simple, but do it well, and that's what exactly what I thought. I was not surprised to see it go through, put it that way.
Yeah, no, well said. How about you, Emma?
I'm going to talk about Finland, which is not one of my favourite songs this year, but it was actually good because it's not one of my favourites. It's not one that I've actually watched a lot of or listened to a lot of. So it was good to actually just sit there and watch the whole performance. And I do think for what it is, it was funny and it did come across very well. And you could see that the crowd loved it. So I think maybe if there was a jury vote involved, we wouldn't have seen them get through. But I think televote only. I don't think they're going to do much in the final, but it was entertaining and it was good to see pretty much all of the camera trickery came together this time. I think there was only one shot that maybe didn't quite work, but yeah, so not surprised, not surprised. It definitely brings something to the competition. It's what people, the once a year watcher, loves to see at Eurovision, isn't it? So yeah,
true, and we've got to keep them happy too, so that's there for them. I can't wait to see the jury score. If anyone gives them
one for that.
If anyone gives them points, and then I'm gonna have questions to that jury for sure. And I guess because we've literally said every country, I think I better talk about Luxembourg really quickly. Great, obviously, that they are back and they have qualified, and as pointed out from James from Eurotrip today, is that they now share 100% qualifying record with Ukraine. It's only 1 from 1, but hey, we used to claim this. We used to claim that from Australia, but hey, Luxembourg join it. So well done to them. I've always quite liked the song, and I'm still not completely won over by the staging, but I mean, those weird cat tiger things are kind of maybe cool. They're a bit weird, but hey, they got through, and I think it's a nice story. And I kind of, when it got down to the last few, I think when Mike and I are doing our reaction video, I'm like, they'll call Luxembourg last because it's the story. It's a nice little storyline. So well done to them.
That's what the boys and I were saying too. Luxembourg's going to be called out last. So yeah, when it got to Ireland being announced, we thought, it's Luxembourg.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, we'll finish up there. I mean, commiserations to the others: Poland, Iceland, Moldova, Azerbaijan missing out as well. Probably Poland, the one may be surprised there. The others are pretty expected. So we will wait and see what semi-final 2 brings us. But for now, thanks Fleur and Emma. Commiserations to us all, but I'm sure we'll be back next year just as strong. And now we can just enjoy the week without the stress about how Australia's going to go.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, have a good one, and we'll catch you all later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, hi.